Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Love Island Cast Australia. It's not getting any better. I am Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave Horrocks.
G'day, Chris.
G'day, mate. We're definitely not going to be doing this for the full 15 minutes because my accent's going already, Dave.
Sure is, governor.
What are you fucking talking about, Dave?
Well, we said yesterday was probably the best episode, didn't we? And I was just waiting to see a bit of the fallout for that. But then, of course, we got the bomb squad, haven't we, to just shake things up a bit. Now, question to you, Chris, as my go-to Love Island historian. Has this ever happened before when you literally get a group of girls going in or a group of guys? I thought from what we saw in the other seasons, it seemed to be both happened at the same time. You had a group of guys and a group of girls coming in.
Yeah, because obviously the UK one, you got Casa Amor, don't you? So they go off to, either the boys or the girls go off to a secret villa and then they swap over. I think what's going to happen, Dave, is they've got the 5 girls gone in and then there's going to be 5 lads come and see the girls in there. Or, something's going to happen. Whether they've not got the budget over in Fiji to actually rent out another villa, I'm not sure, Dave. And they're basically going to send the girls back in and then ship the lads out. I'm not sure. But I think what we've seen today is definitely going to happen to the guys. And there's going to be 5 lads going in there. And we saw the green-eyed monster, Dave. But let me just tell you one thing, right? There's a lot of pretty girls gone in. There's 5 of them there, Dave. There's about as much of a bomb gone in there, Dave, as what my toilet bowl looked like after a curry, Dave. There's absolutely nothing they've brought to the table for me that convinces me that they've just not gone in there with a bit of a remit. Exactly what it is, just to stir up, because I'm not convinced by any of these new girls at all.
Convinced in what way?
I just think it's totally fabricated. Well, all right, hold on.
What it is?
Right, hang on. Let me just clarify. Right,
this weird environment they call Love Island. It's not authentic at all.
Let me just clarify what I'm talking about here. Is after today's episode where we had Vanessa leave, didn't we? In the last one, we had the fallout from that. Nobody gave the fuck about Maurice. I don't even think he was mentioned, Dave. We got the weirdest fucking yoga. And I do yoga. You know, I'm a massive advocate of yoga for your body. I love yoga. But what the fuck was Cynthia doing, Dave, with that pathetic teenage fucking tea time TV bullshit that she was doing to the fucking screen when she's like, I deserve somebody. I'm like, fuck off. What the fuck?
Poor girl's pouring her heart out.
Dave,
you're just shitting all over her.
Dave, you know I like a bit of Neighbours and Home and Away, and I've seen better acting on there, and that's saying something. Fucking... Dude, that was pathetic. I'm sorry. I don't know what other people thought, but I was not buying that bullshit at all.
I don't know. I mean, she's not had much luck, but then she's not made her own luck either, has she? She kind of went with Maurice, even though it was blatantly obvious that, it was a tactical move by him. So, yeah, it's just... Yeah, I don't know where she's going to go from here, really.
No, I don't. I mean, hopefully to some fucking acting lessons, to be honest, Dave, because if she's trying to convince me, she needs to do a lot better than that. But I've got to call myself out, Dave. I am going to have to apologise to yourself and all the listeners. Fucking Matt absolutely played a blinder. Talk about acting. We had the tears, we had the snot, we had the whole 9 yards. It was almost like there'd been a death in the family. He was absolutely distraught by Vanessa fucking leaving, as was some of the other guys. As soon as he got a sniff of the bomb squad, see ya, don't let the door hit you on the back of the head. It was absolutely... And he even said it, didn't he, Vanessa, who... And I remember someone saying that in the UK one this series and got absolutely lambasted online.
It was Anna, she said, Jordan who, didn't she?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, yeah, as she got with Ovi. And I'd tell you what, Dave, he has played me and probably everyone else like a fiddle because I was feeling a bit sorry for him, even though I'd had my initial doubts. But what a wanker. And then on top of that... Fucking Owen didn't take long, did he, for him to just jump off the Jessie train there? I know there was no girls there at the time, but he just went, right, that's all I need to hear. See ya. And I was like, wow, what is going on here?
It wasn't even like a real sort of breakup, was it? She just said, well, I think I'm going to keep my options open. And he was like, right, yep, fair enough. And when the other girls come in, he's like, yeah, I'm single. Me and Matt, we're the single ones. Hang about, is that really true? So,
I've got to say, this is the most predetermined episode of Love Island I've seen since it's come on this series. This was atrocious for me, Dave. It was so obvious what was going to happen, and I was so pissed off with myself, thinking I felt really so. I slated Vanessa, and maybe she's got a point, Dave. Maybe her reputation precedes her. I give Adam absolute credit. He stood there like a man. He said to Matt, "Look, this is why we did it. I hope you understand. In a couple of days, you can be angry with us, and then you understand why we've done it. We've done it because we're looking out for you." And he just went, "You know what, lads? Fuck you. I'm just going to get with whoever comes in next." And I just thought, wow, what an absolute wanker.
I don't know if he's playing or if he's just really kind of mentally and emotionally immature, because, the way he sort of cried, it was like he was 14 or 15 or something. When you were a kid and then you go out with someone for 2 weeks and then you break up and it's the end of your life. That was him. And then the girls come in, he's like, oh, happy days. And he's just like not bothered in the slightest. And I just found it particularly odd from him. I expected a little bit more moping, But no, he's got his big boyish shit-eating grin on him, hasn't he? And he's just not arsed at all. And I tell you what, he's playing with fire there a bit, because what is it when they all get together after the show's finished?
Yep. The after show party.
After show party, yeah. That thing that happens after the show and they have a bit of a party.
That one, Dave.
But I think, Matt might end up with a fucking knife in him if he's not careful, because that Vanessa, she's going to hold a grudge, I think. And, he's made it a bit too blatantly obvious that he just wasn't really into her. She was just there.
Yeah, exactly. And again, clever editing, it brings you in, it draws you in. But I tell you what, Dave, what a bunch of shit stirrers and producers are. They send that paper to the girls who are in isolation. Poor Adam has absolutely said, I'm not getting involved. I genuinely, I don't mind talking to him, but I've got a good thing going here with Cartier. I'm not interested. One of the little headlines was in Cartier's like, well, look at him there. It's just like, wow, you bastards. So they've proper played the guys who are genuinely into each other. Because even Luke was questioning it with Cassie, wasn't he? He was sat there with Angel, the blonde girl, and saying like, I really like her, but she's been a bit unaffectionate. She's a bit cold, as we've seen with Phoebe and him. And I was thinking, I think we're going to get a bit of like what we got in the UK one, Dave, where like what Michael did with Amber, and you're going to see somebody recoupling is with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, Adam looks like he's probably gonna be faithful, but it's very, very early days. His coping strategy was to basically take himself out of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But definitely, I think it's Cassie, and is it Josh?
Luke, Cassie and Luke.
Cassie and one of the twins. The shaved head one. Yeah, so they're definitely going to go. But, with what we've seen Cassie now, we're into week 3. I've got to be honest with you, Chris, I'm struggling for that much sympathy for her. I've heard that many times from her now. It's like, oh, why is it always me? Poor little me. And it's like, I'm not sure. Well, maybe it is you. And it keeps happening to you. Maybe the problem isn't everyone else.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think she's got so many barriers up that it's becoming just completely untenable for anybody who gets close to her. I don't understand when she filled the form out, Dave. Love Island. Hello. It's not sit on a couch and just have a sunbathe island. It's called Love Island. She must have seen the previous series of it. To me, she just looks like a plant that's got the gig through a talent agency who have put her onto it. They know someone who's on the show, because we know most of them are setups anyway, Dave. I mean, these people are the 1%ers, aren't they? Most of them. They're all good-looking lads and girls. There's something behind them, and Cassie just reeks of someone who stands out for me. That's just been planted there just to get her social media profile up so she can get a lot of work after the show, because I'm not believing anything she says.
Yeah, it does seem odd. Like you say, it's like it's not the right place to come and work out your emotional issues.
Yeah.
I know they say they're probably all briefed beforehand, aren't they? Just say you're looking for love. Those are the right reasons. Again, I've got to go back to Matt. He's saying before the girls came in, the bomb squad came in, and he's like, Vanessa said, you'll find someone in here. And I thought I had. Well, fuck off then. Leave the fucking show. You genuinely think that, and you're genuinely here for, to find love. Leave the fucking show.
Yeah.
So again, I can't work out if he's just completely playing the game or just a bit fucking dumb. I think it might be a bit of both.
It could be. It could be. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, Dave, I just wanted to address a couple of tweets we've had over the last 24 hours. And this one's got, it's a great Twitter name. Coach Green Lax, or LAX, I think it is, Dave. Coach H Green. And he's just...
I think it's LAX.
I hope so. Sorry. I've just bastardized that. I'm sorry out there, Coach Green. We'll just call him Coach Green, or she, Coach Green. He said, just listen to the latest episodes. You can go back and check, but I'm pretty sure that it was the twins, not Phoebe, that introduced the idea of Vanessa as a game player. Now, I think that Coach Green is correct. I think what happened was, though, Phoebe just ran with it, didn't she, Dave? And that's basically where... And obviously, Anna don't give two fucks. She literally can't hold anything, can she? She's off and telling everyone. So I think you're probably correct. It's probably down to that. Maybe just the clever editing of seeing Phoebe because she's in the partnership.
Well, I don't recall the twins openly speaking about it, but I did go back and check some quotes, and it says when Phoebe was having that discussion with Anna, which is where I'd picked up on it, she says like the boys, were talking about this, and so I think he's right, but it does sort of put the twins in a slightly different light in my eye. I just wonder if, how much of a game plan do they have? And, Vanessa's come out and she's flatly, pointing the finger at the twins and basically blaming them for getting her chucked out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Could be something there.
There could be, Dave. There could be. You're right. And one of the other tweets you got was off Terence Blake. And it's listen to another great episode by you guys. This time, 100% agree with your takes. Laugh out loud. Vanessa's situation seems like Matt was talking behind her back with the guys. They seem so mad she had the upper hand, and that Owen comment to Jessie was awful. So I think we've pretty much nailing it over the last couple of days, Dave. And thanks for that, Terence. Keep the tweets coming, guys, at Love Island Cast as well, or the loveislandcast@gmail.com to drop us an email. I think. We're probably, and you've only been in this situation, Dave, for 4 months. But obviously, I've been watching this show for about 4 to 5 years, and you can see now the little things that don't look right, or the little things that are just too subtle when they're doing them, like they have been prompted. I think tonight it was just too obvious, and Dave, I'm trying my hardest not to completely just have a go at Owen every episode, but he makes it fucking difficult for me not to call him out because he just does my head in, that guy. He absolutely... If he was a fucking lollipop, he'd lick himself, wouldn't
he? He would. He does absolutely love himself. And, I mean, you called it yesterday. I said that, I thought he might see the thing with Gerard and Jessie, that whole triangle developing there. He might see it as a bit of a competition, so he might be a bit faithful, but he did pretty much the opposite. He was like, right, fuck this. I've kind of had my doubts anyway. You've got doubts, so let's call this a day. And again, when you see two people having a conversation and you're like, you're not even trying to find the middle ground there. It was that whole thing about him moving away from the Gold Coast. I'm sure there's a much better way that he could have said, if we come out of here, and we're, we'll see how it goes, and, we find ourselves in love, then yeah, of course I'd move. I'd go anywhere. Yeah. But he's just sort of shutting it down. He's like, no, I'm not moving. And right now we're not in love. So what's your problem?
Exactly. I think that's what the issue is, because with me, I think you're right. It's the way he delivers things, because Jessie, she's not like totally not to blame in some respects. She kissed with Gerard, got a bit overexcited, then give us a full notepad worth of pluses who she goes for, which was basically just Gerard, as we mentioned in the last show. But I think it's the way you deal with it. She's dealt with it with a bit of class in my eyes, where she's just gone to him, she's tried to speak to him, and he just, like she said, you're just not interested. It's like in any relationship, Dave, isn't it? You get with somebody, I got with Sam 20 odd years ago, you get with somebody, you've got to do something. I mean, I fell on my feet, Dave. Sam had a house. I moved in with a load of videos, a bag full of clothes, and a little pedal bike. And I ended up moving into a house with a car and that. And 20 years later, you know what I mean? Everything's mine. No, it's not, Sam. She's listening. But I did, Dave. You know what I mean?
House meet dog. Dog meet house.
There was talk, but my nan was the best, actually, Dave. I'm happy to say so. The point, my nan actually said that Sam was after my money. I was on about fucking £60 a week. She had a car, a house, and she was after my money. What, me fucking 60 quid? That's not going to go very far. But anyway, I digress. And that's a true story, actually. She's going to fucking kill me when she listens to this. But anyway, that's genuinely true. So maybe I need to get in there quick, Dave. But yeah, I just find he's completely devoid of emotion, and the way he delivers stuff, there's like an arrogance around him, where I think you've mentioned it before with some of the guys, where they go into these nightclubs and they don't need to talk or anything. They just rely on the looks. And obviously he's a big guy. He has got a slight bit of Jason Momoa in him, as in he's got long hair and a beard, and that's about fuck all else he's got, other than, he has got a good body. But we've gone over this many a time, but I genuinely I just don't think he's a nice person. And the stuff with like brushing your teeth and all that, and she was doing it, Jessie, that you said yesterday, Dave, he's fucking red flags all over. So for me, whoever he gets with, I don't think he's going to be serious about anybody in this show. And I think he could actually be played out to be a bit of a villain. Give it another 10 days or so if he keeps jumping from one girl to the next.
It could be. I mean, who do you think he'll go for? Do you think? I think he'll probably lean towards Isabel, if going on his previous types.
Yeah, Isabel, or this. I mean, there's that Jordan who was talking to Matt when he was doing his 21 press ups. She's. I know. Not even go there. He was even doing the fucking clap ones as well. It's like,
yeah.
how would any woman be impressed by that? Really, Dave? Really?
Well, if you're gonna do 20, and it's like, oh, how about 21? It's like, I was scratching my head and thinking, is that really pushing the boat out? Like,
I'll do 50.
How about if you said 40? Yeah. Something, you doubled it. Not just one more. I found that very strange.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think sometimes Matt sort of engages his brain sometimes with some of the stuff he says. I'm still on the fence. I don't know whether he's a good guy or not, but he has played Vanessa big time. So I owe her a slight apology. As much as I didn't really like the girl, I think she had a point, to be honest. And I think it's going to play out, Dave. Someone's going to become the pantomime villain of this series, and it's either going to be Owen or it's going to be Matt, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think Matt's, he's going to... I think he'll be loyal. I think Matt is the sort of person, he's like, if he's there and she's there, he's all in. But then as soon as that other person isn't there, he's like, "Ooh, look at the new shiny," and he's off. He's away. So I can't see Matt would be the villain. I think he could end up being looking like a bit of a twat. But Owen, there just seems something a bit more sinister about him. And so I think if I was going to say anyone would be the villain, I think it would be Owen. I think if anyone is going to come out with this, with a bit of credit from all of this, I think it's going to be Adam. And I think back in the early episodes of this season, I don't think I was fully bought into him. I thought he was, when they were doing the whole game and he was saying, "Oh yeah, I've never cheated on anyone." He seemed to protest too much to me. But all his actions since, he's looked like the bit of a star man, I think.
Yep, I agree, Dave. I think he's been the most genuine person in there. Him and Cartier, she's really genuine, Dave. So I'm at the moment, they're my favourites because I think they're the only ones that are genuine. The rest of them all arseholes, I think.
And I did have to laugh, actually. I don't know why. It's probably the only person in the world that this would tickle. But obviously, the girls all go to the hideaway, and suddenly all the sexy clothes come off, and Cartier's there in her glasses and sloppy shirt. And it just reminded me of like 80s movies, things that we review over on the VHS Strikes Back podcast. And like, you stick some dowry clothes on someone, but you can still see they're hot. You know what I mean? So it just reminded me of that kind of little bit of an 80s throwback.
It didn't really work for the actual pink ladies in Greece, Dave. There was probably only Sandra Dee who I thought was attractive in her pajamas, and even then they were like me grands. So I don't know. Terrible,
Yeah,
terrible.
Fair point.
Right, guys. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to get in contact with the show, at Love Island Cast on Twitter. If you want to email the show, the loveislandcast@gmail.com. And if you do like the show, as I've mentioned every single episode, please get onto your podcast catching app and drop us a review. It just helps us grow and gets us out there. And if you've got any friends out there who love a bit of Love Island, or if you just want to listen to two, well, we think we're funny guys from the UK. Maybe not
funny
that funny.
Funny as in odd.
Odd and don't speak correctly. We're happy to take any criticism or abuse because that's what we're all about, Dave. So, Dave, what have you got for us today, my friend?
Well, thanks a lot for listening, and I'm off to disinfect that pool.